moving into the marketing writing position here very shortly. I've been working at Paladin for 2 years next month, actually. Today's webinar title is Marketing for the 21st Century. Essentially what I'm going to do for you guys is show you how to utilize Paladin in the best way possible to market your business, to obtain current customers, and also gain those new ones and then get their continued business there as well. The audience here is both for hardware and pharmacy, and the technical level is fairly easy at this point. What I'm going to show you inside Paladin is actually fairly non-complex, but you can utilize it in a very good way. So the goal of Paladin webinar series is to give you an advanced training medium to aid in evolving the use of your Paladin system to make your stores even more successful. For this presentation, I want you to be able to walk away with a better understanding of how marketing is going to work for you in that 21st century, and also how to utilize Paladin in your best advantage with the tools that we have in 21st century. So for example, stuff like Facebook, web presence in general, things kind of where the technology is leading you in today. Okay? I'm going to be assisted by Chad here. He's going to be responsible for recording the webinar, and then may also participate in answering questions posted via text messaging. Everyone is going to be in listen-only mode by default, and we do have the power to unmute you if we deem necessary as far as questions. At the end of the presentation, there will be a quick survey. Please go ahead and answer those few questions. It'll help us improve these future webinars and also help me personally to understand what I can do better for next time. If you missed some of the presentations, or if you were just simply not able to attend, you can actually re-see these anytime at Paladin Point of Sale, all spelled out, one word, .com/webinars. Okay? Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started here. So as I said, we've got marketing for the 21st century. Okay, this technical level is a fairly easy level here. All right, so specifically what we're going to be covering today, okay, we've got very specific 21st century newspaper and television ads as they still pertain to the markets out there, customer loyalty programs that will help you gain your customers, okay, and then also what Paladin offers as well. That whole dreaded social media thing that everybody hates, but yet we're kind of geared towards it whether we want to or not, okay, and then how to promote these things inside Paladin to increase your business. Okay, first, some key marketing strategies that we want to talk about here. What we want to do with our message. You want to have a very clean, positive message to potential customers as well as your current customers. Okay, you're going to want to understand and know where your market is, meaning, let's say that your hardware store has been in business for 70 years. The majority of your market is maybe of the older generation where they don't really utilize internet. They don't really utilize computers. They still pick up the newspaper every morning. They still watch the TV, you know, the news and things like that, and they still pay attention to the ads there. You want to be aware of that market versus just gearing towards social media, okay? And then you also need to figure out which materials and programs that are going to be best fitted for your store. So meaning, again, the local, if you have some sort of nickel ads or just a local paper, if that's going to be best fitted for your store, and then also understanding if maybe the internet is going to be best fitted for your store based off the market that you have. Okay. Specifically, when we talk about a newspaper and television ads, you want to really research the time slots that are available via television ads, okay, and then also which television stations are going to be the best for your store. So for example, a station that kind of specializes maybe in home and garden might be a good hardware store ad, and then figuring out whether you should do it in, say, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. spot, or if the 10 a.m. to noon spot is a little more best suited for your store. Now on the pharmacy side of things, let's say there's a health channel. that's maybe going to gear a little bit more towards the pharmacy, and you want to go ahead and make sure that that is the correct area that you're going for. You don't necessarily want to have an ad on, say, a Cartoon Network at 10 o'clock at night. You may not reach your potential audience as well as you would during the day. Okay. Now you want to do a little bit of research. So let's say that you've got a local newspaper versus some big box newspaper, so to speak. Okay. You want to make sure that you do your research and kind of find out which one gets the most circulation and which one is going to have the broadest range of distribution. The broader range of distribution, most people, the bigger the distribution range, the more potential customers you're going to have. And then also, how busy do you want your ads to look? You need, from a design perspective, you really should have something that is visually appealing to your customers, but not so busy that they almost get a headache, so to speak. And then there are the customer loyalty programs. Paladin offers several different customer loyalty programs. As you can see, we've got 4 major customer loyalty programs here. Now, customer loyalty programs are a good way to incentivize your customers and to also keep them coming back. Now, for those of you who are unaware how a customer loyalty program works, what this does, essentially, the customer presents their card or they present their phone number, some sort of identifying information that's already in your Paladin system under their account. And what that's going to do, you're going to earn points for every dollar that they spend. Now, once they reach a certain amount, they will then in turn get a coupon off of their next purchase that will be reprinted on the bottom of the receipt. For example, that's how the Rich Rewards works, which is the integrated one inside Paladin. Now, Ace Rewards, Do It Best, and Repeat Rewards all have their own design. But what you can do is you can make it very specific on, let's say they spend $100, so they get 100 points. Once they reach 500 points, they get, for example, $5, $10, $20 off coupon on their next purchase, whether it's physically in the mail or on the coupon at the bottom. With Rich Rewards, at least, you can make the program unique to your store. So, for example, a pharmacy. Let's say you can't do scripts on this loyalty program, but you can isolate just over-the-counter items. Okay? But then you want to go one step further. Well, I only want the customers to get rewards on vitamins. Then so be it. You can absolutely do it that way too. Now, as far as getting set up on these Ace Rewards, Do It Best, Repeat, or Rich, all you have to do is contact customer support, and then we can get you set up. Okay, that whole dreaded social media thing that we all talk about, some of us hate it, some of us love it, but unfortunately it's in today's world, and it's something that we really should utilize to our advantage. Now, some store owners are very much against, Facebook and web presence and things like that. You can have one of your younger employees who might be okay with getting onto Facebook during work to go ahead and utilize this. So it's important for you to have a good web presence, okay? Understanding how to get to the top of the search list, meaning when someone goes to google.com and they happen to be in your area and they're looking for, they type in hardware store or they type in pharmacy, ideally you want your name to be the first person that pops up. Okay. Facebook is world known. So what you can do, you can create your own business Facebook page. Now, they do have a utilization between personal and business, and you can very much make this a business Facebook page. You can use marketing, you can have coupons, you can have incentives, you can have different things like that, and you can have someone set it up for you. It doesn't take very much to set up a Facebook account, and you can do photos, and you can really promote your store in areas that you otherwise may not be able to reach just by TV or newspaper. So for example, you can also have a one-time coupon for what's called liking the page. meaning they push the button. Once they do that, they will now see every time you update something or you do what's called a post. Also creating a company website if you don't already have one, and then keeping it up to date. And again, you can offer specials. Mention our new website and get $5 off your next purchase, something of that sort. So how does Paladin play into all of these things? Paladin wants you to be successful in your business. Part of being successful is having the right marketing tools to go ahead and do that. Okay, Paladin has got a few different ways that we can play into this, and I'm going to show you how. Everybody loves a good sale or deal, right? So you can use Paladin to promote your new specials, like I was just talking about, on your Facebook or your website. You can put a message at the bottom of your statement run for just a month, promoting your customers to like the Facebook page with an offer of $5 off the next visit. You can also create signs promoting your new marketing strategy. So I'll show you how to do that real quick. I'm going to tab over to Paladin. Up here in File Setup, as it comes up here, okay. Right here under the Forms tab. This is where all of your receipt information is posted, as well as your statement information. So what you can do here, so for example, this says, thanks for shopping, open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., Hometown Hardware. Okay, you can take some of this information out, or at the bottom where it says your receipt guarantees your no-hassle return, where your source for seasonal supplies and all your hardware needs. Well, right here under the footer line 1, 2, and 3, you can simply put in something like this. Mention our Facebook page and get $5 off. Your next purchase. Okay. Doing something like this is going to help them look at the Facebook page, which in theory you already have posts on there. So they're going to start looking around, they're going to start looking at photos, they're going to start looking at deals. This day and age, people are on Facebook all the time, even on their phones. So they can even like your page and get that $5 off while they're standing in line. Okay. Same thing. There's information down here on the statement. So what you can turn around and do is put this information down here for a month. Mention our website, get $10 off. Something of that sort. And then there's also signs that you can use. When you go up to Reports and MS Access Templates, let's see if it's going to do it for me here. It's going to open Microsoft Access for you. You can go to, let's see, sale signs, okay? You go to sale signs, you choose one, let's say medium, okay? Now, obviously, this is going to need a lot of tweaking, but this is just for example. Okay, sample sale, you hit run. Oh, okay. Well, so it's not working right at the moment, but what this is going to do, it's going to pop up a sign that you can print out, just like you would put on, just like a standard marketing sign that you'd put on your front counter, and that's what it would do. Okay. You can use that to promote, hey, like our Facebook page, get $5 off, so on and so forth. Now, you can change that on a monthly basis, or you can just run it for 1 month if you'd like and see how you do that way. Going back to our slide here. And then this one here. Okay. The second part of how Paladin is going to play into your marketing into the 21st century. You can run different reports inside Paladin to actually help you market. So to use targeted marketing. Now, targeted marketing is very much deciding when, where, how, and why you have the audience that you do. So for example, like I had mentioned earlier, if you don't, if you have the vast majority of younger people in the store, then you really do want to gear more towards maybe Facebook and websites, and then also something along the lines of, let's say, some home projects, right? Or some do-it-yourself going to college type projects because you have a younger crowd that's coming in your store. Now, let's say you have this big group of people that come in every month and they're part of a bird watching club and they do projects and they build birdhouses and stuff like that, and you understand that. So you're going to want to target that market, and you're going to want to put things on sale, or you're going to want to advertise things that you would make for birdhouses and birdseed and different things like that. Now on the pharmacy side of things, same thing. Let's say you have a whole bunch of personal trainers that come in that are really into supplements and really into vitamins and things like that. You're really going to want to capitalize that on and really target in on that very specific market and advertise that, because then in turn that's going to get you more sales. Okay. You can also do what's called secret sales to help draw those customers in. Now I'm going to show you some reports inside Paladin that will help you utilize and figure out those exact markets, and also figure out kind of the best-selling things in your store, or on the flip side of things, the not so good selling stuff in your store that maybe you want to try to move. You know, you have some slow movers and you want to go ahead and get rid of those. And how do we push those? How do we put those on sale to go ahead and market that information? Excuse me. So we're going to open up Paladin here. There are so many reports that you can use inside Paladin and really utilize to the best of your abilities. Okay. Let's start with customers. So when we're inside Paladin, we're going to go up to the reports module, which is number 5, and then we're going to go down to customers. And then what we want to do is customer ranking. Okay. We do a profit ranking and we do a sales ranking. So let's say we go to sales ranking, and we're going to hit next. Let's say we're just doing it for the next year. And then here if you have, or for the past year, excuse me. And then we have other sorting options here. But for this one, we're just going to go ahead and run the data. And what this is going to do, this is going to show you kind of your best ranked customers, so to speak. Okay, so as you can see, you've got names here, you've got the type, their credit limit, and their total sales, and the total profit that you have made off of those customers. So this is going to give you a good starting point as to who buys the most in your store. So then you can do a secret sale, so to speak, for, let's say, the top 10 customers. You can do a mailing to them. You can email them. You can do some sort of Facebook thing. You know, you can do what's called a tag, which is to get their attention. Things like that. Okay, that's a good place to start. And then we've also got the profit ranking, which is going to be similar. Okay, it's going to show you which ones have made the most profit for you in the past year. Okay, it's going to be very similar, right? Then you can really just go in. Like this one here, they've lost sales. They've lost $5,400 in sales on this customer. Okay, so then it's the flip side of how do we make this better? We've also got a general customer list or a file export that will go into Excel that you can do a mass mailing for. Let's say your customers are more so on the mailing side of things. They like postcards versus a Facebook thing. Or if they do have an email, you can do a mass email type thing with them. And then to narrow it down even more, not just for customers, but for inventory as well, you can take a look under inventory, and you some of the reports you can do under performance analysis, we've got the slow movers report. This is going to give you an idea, and I'll show you what this looks like here. Okay, this is going to show you everything in the past 2 years. Report items sales less than 2. What this is going to do, this is going to run this report, and then you're able to see everything that you sold less than 2 of, which means you can do something like a bargain bin sale, which is going to help you get rid of all that unwanted and needed stock in your store. It's going to give you an idea of what to put on sale. This might take a while, so I'm going to, yeah, it's 4,700 pages, so we don't want to do that. Okay, and then under history, the items sold report, you can do something like that as well. You can see what you've sold the best of. And let's run this. Now this is just for the past week. You can also export it to Excel. So if you're better in Excel, okay. Now this database doesn't happen to have anything, but what it's going to do, you can see the different departments, okay, the departments and things like that, and what it's going to cost, how many you need to order if you do, what you currently have stock on hand. So it's going to be able to, you're going to be able to utilize this to see what you really sell the most of and what you don't sell the most of, to where you can put that on sale. Now, another way to do this too is if you, what I personally like to do as well, I like to run the period comparative revenue report. What this does, this breaks down your revenue by department. So you can take a look and see right here in the department how much revenue you've made within that department. And if you say, okay, I really need my auto department to go up in sales, so let's do a secret sale, let's do a target market sale in the auto department. And then you're going to turn around and take a look at it, and you can compare it to last year as well. Because then you can do a little bit more of a broad spectrum versus customer specific as well. You can do department specific to really boost your sales. You know, and you can take a look, okay, well, hardware too and household, no, I make plenty of money and plenty of margin in those departments. So I really am doing really well, and I don't really need to do anything like that within that department there. So as you can see, Paladin's got plenty of things that you can really utilize inside the system with the right tools. As always, customer support is available. You can give us a call. We can help you out. We can show you where to, where and how to utilize these things. And if you have any questions about the webinar, you can also give us a call there. So that concludes the end of the webinar. This should be available here in a day or so at the website that you see there. Okay. And then the next webinar next week is going to be conducted by Charles, I believe, and it's managing your store's inventory using basic reporting functions. So you want to tune into that next week at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Were there any questions at this time?
Nope, we're good.
All right. Thank you guys so much.